Marlo Thomas and Phil Donahue on the mysteries of marriage behind COVID face covers and packaged against a tempestuous April chill who might perceive Marlo Thomas and Phil Donahue, however, for his mark silver hair. In the event that I go bare, this marriage is finished, he said. No issues up until now. They commend their 40th wedding commemoration this month. On the off chance that you solicit Donahue the date from their wedding, we will offer it's the 5th of May, May 5th. That is no joke, said Thomas. You know very well what it is. As she disclosed to Sunday Morning of Jane Pauley, I am conceived November 21st. He's conceived December 21st. What's more, we explicitly chose to be hitched on a 21. In this way, 5 21sts. To check the event, they composed a book about relationships, including 40 popular couples who've stood the trial of time and numerous different tests en route. For example, having a wiped out child, having a terrible relative, losing all your cash, Thomas said, compulsion of numerous types, and faithfulness. Any issue you can envision that any marriage could confront. In our book they face it now, Pauley asked. Would they start these discussions? We didn't begin with an inquiry, truly, said Thomas. It resembled a twofold date. A twofold date that started with wafers and cheddar, and in the end got down to metal tacks. We discussed how would you battle, and how you return from a battle. A few people are title contenders, Pauley said. I'm considering Chip and Joanna Gaines, the fixer-upper couple. They battled a great deal in the start of their marriage, since she's mindful and he's insane traveler, Thomas said. He said one time they were having a contention, and in the contention she struck her hand against a basin of paint and it spilled all finished, and white paint was dribbling from her face and her garments. In any case, she didn't stop, she simply continued shouting and hollering. He said he took a gander at her. He thought, you know, I love this lady, she is so enthusiastic. At 17, Billy Crystal didn't have a driver's permit when he met Janice, his better half of 50 years. For what reason did he stick so brutally to the adolescent young lady he went gaga for when he was a child? Asked Pauley. I think they truly put stock in one another, Thomas said. Something I was dazzled with Janice and Billy and Arlene and Alan Alda. These are folks that had professions that were truly going no place. Billy Crystal was a substitute educator, Alan Alda drove a taxi. Yet, their spouses never said to them the same number of wives may when are you going to find a genuine line of work. Phil and Marlo's relationship started in 1977 on TV with a group of people. When she showed up as a visitor on the Donahue show, it truly wasn't a meeting, she said. Also, he said to me, why you've never hitched? I stated, I simply don't trust it's for me. It appears as though it's just a spot for 1.5 people, you know, the individual that has the fantasy and the other individual who bolsters the fantasy. Pauley asked, where do you get that thought? All things considered, my folks for one. Her mom had surrendered a singing vocation to wed the star of TV's Danny Thomas show, but inside weeks, Marlo was an ordinary visitor in the home of single-parent Phil, bringing 4 young men up in Winnetka, Illinois. Pauley stated, I believe being single and autonomous was nearly your image. No, I was failing to get hitched. Like the character she played in the hit TV arrangement That Girl, Thomas was seeking after a vocation, not a spouse. I was attempting to depict, just because on TV, a little youngster who wasn't considering getting hitched. She was pondering who she could be on the planet. A progressive thought in 1966. Be that as it may, there were men throughout her life.